In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can boost your FPS by at least 50 in Call of Duty Warzone on PC. Right after this intro, guys. As we all know that Warzone and Modern Warfare in general has always been poorly optimized, and one of the main issues on PC is that when the files download on your PC, when you're downloading the game, one of the game files that has to do with CPU usage and how many CPU cores you're actually utilizing on your game is actually incorrect. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be seeing how many cores we have in our system, and we're going to be changing that number in the PC's files so we can run Warzone at the correct amount of cores. And how we're going to do that, press Control Alt and then delete. It's going to bring us the task manager. After it brings up the task manager, we're going to have to click up on performance. After we click on performance, on the bottom right here, it should say cores, the amount of cores that your CPU has. It's going to be right under the base speed, the sockets, and then it's going to say cores. The amount of cores that I have on my processor, the Intel Core i7 9700K, is 8 cores. Perfect. Now we know how many cores we have in our CPU. We can exit out of that. Next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go into the PC's files for the app. So what we're going to do is we're going to click up on the File Explorer, and then we are going to go into our documents. We're going to click on Documents on the left quick access menu. We're going to go ahead and find Modern Warfare's game files. We're going to click on Modern Warfare. It should bring you to 3 folders that say Archive, Players, and Report. We're going to click on Players, and then after we click on Players, there's going to be the very first option that says Advanced Options. After you click on this, it's going to bring up a script. Alright, so after that script is pulled up, we're pretty much going to be looking at right here, render worker count, and that's going to equal some weird number. This is pretty much has to do with how many CPU cores you're using for the game. And for me, my worker count, when I looked into this for the very first time, mine said like 7, when really what you should be doing is you're taking the amount of cores that you have. Like I had 8 on mine. We just checked the amount of cores that we had. I had 8 on mine. You're going to slice that in half. For me, it was 8, so we're going to slice that in half. It's going to be 4. I'm going to enter that into the render worker count, and that's pretty much just going to solve the issue right there. If you have 6 cores on your CPU, you're going to enter in 3. Entering half the amount of CPU cores into the render or worker count will give you a boost in FPS, and we're talking about FPS primarily in this video. But if you do notice that you do have stutters on your PC, you're going to want to enter your render or worker count to the maximum amount of CPU cores on your system. If you have 8 cores on your CPU, like we checked, you're going to want to enter 8 on the render worker count if it's giving you stutters. No, it won't give you the most amount of FPS like we're getting here when we cut the number in half. But yes, you will have less stutters. However, you will be maintaining smooth gameplay.
Located.